live. I must say that these are some of my favorite stories, the best ones that I could ever tell. Of course, they're all improvised. I'll come up with on the moment, on the spot. And that is why we are here today, playing our instruments and telling our interesting stories. So welcome in, welcome in. It is good to see you all. Let us start our story off in the best place possible. So I was in a tavern. And I was in a tavern sitting by myself, drinking from an excellent glass of mead. Except that's not mead, that's, of course, that is tea, because I cannot be encumbering it while on the vertical live, of course. So I was sitting in this tavern. I saw a person, and he was sitting by himself off to the side, and he was wearing a cloak, a black cloak, all entirely shaded. I could almost hardly even see his face at all. So I thought to myself, that guy seems like he's up to no good. I've got to look out for him. You wouldn't want people in a dark black cloak sneaking up on you after all. He might have a dagger on him, and that would not end with a very excellent story, so I kept an eye on him. But I was just going back to my drink, and I realized, after I looked up again, that he was not anywhere to be found. Who is that? Hello, Ephraim. Welcome. Welcome into the stream. Let me know if you have anything you'd like to add to the story. Right now we're in a tavern, seeing a hooded cloak figure, except I was drinking from my excellent mug. And then suddenly when I looked away, he was not there. What is that? Yes, I love your smile. Alright. So I saw him and he was not there. And I find this really suspicious because I thought he was looking at me earlier. I could have swore he was aiming at me in the other direction. His gaze, it might have been on me, it might have been on the person next to me, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, that was really of no consequence, but at least so I thought. So I finished my drink, and you see, I unfortunately am not the best at holding my alcohol, which is why I'm drinking tea. Who is this? Hello, Angelica. Welcome to the stream. Did I say that right? Angelica. Alright, sweet. Hello, welcome, Angelica. We're in a tavern, and there was a stranger that we saw earlier. He was in a deep black cloak, and he was looking at me. At least I thought he was looking at me, and then he suddenly disappeared. We just got to the point where I'm drinking from my alcohol. This is tea, but I was drinking a mead at the time, and I can't hold my liquor very well, so I'm starting to get very dizzy. Quite the buzz going, and the room starts spinning. And I think now is the time where I need to head off to bed, so I must make my swift exit. What's this? Angelica from Italy. I don't speak English well, sorry. No problem, Angelica. I hope you can enjoy the stream one way or another. I'll play a tune. That way it's the same. Music is the language that transcends all languages. So it was nighttime. I was walking around through the town square. What is this? Okay. I was walking through the town square, and I feel a tap on my shoulder. A tap. So of course I look around, and the act of turning has actually got me so dizzy that I stumble to the ground, to my knees for a second, and the stranger says, "If I wanted to kill you, it would have been quite easy for me." Angelica says, "You are very good at playing the guitar." Thank you. I specialize in this instrument. This happens to be an octave mandolin. It's a very special type of instrument, which is what I was carrying that night when the stranger tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Mork, I need your help, minstrel. I need you to fetch something for me. And not an object, no, that would be too simple. I need you to fetch a person, you see." And I'm like, why is this person talking to me? I can barely stand. Why would I do anything? Why would I be able to do any kind of help? But of course he didn't ask me anything. I don't know this person. He just knows me for some reason. It's an odd habit of mine, being known but not knowing the other person. It's the unfortunate side of being famous. What is this? Ephraim says, "Mike the Minstrel, you made me do videos. Thank you." You're welcome, Ephraim. I'm glad you found success doing some videos. I say when anyone wants to do a video, just put yourself in front of a camera, start talking, and eventually you'll get into a groove of it. That's how I started anyways, so many years ago. As in a year and a half. Anyways. So he says, I need you to fetch someone for me. My daughter. She has run off. She has run off with a man. And I say, well, why do you need me to help you? I mean, can't you go and fetch your daughter yourself? He said, no. My daughter will not listen to me, for she is fed up with my speech, so you must go and you must talk to her instead. And I said, well, what influence do I have? And he says, well, you are the minstrel. Everyone listens to a minstrel. At least I hope so. So I said, all right, I'll go talk to your daughter and just tell me where she is. Let's see. Let's see. And of course, it was at the largest house in the village. It was just outside of town, down a path, over a bridge. It was not quite a mansion of sorts, but also not quite a hut, let's say. It was like a well put together cabin, several layers. And I was going to have to go in and convince this lady, so I start walking. I grab my lantern and I'm walking in the night. I don't see him anywhere. I don't see it anywhere, but I'm strolling along trying to find this place in the middle of the night, and thankfully there's a few paths. Not very many paths, just two. There's a simple option for me that I can either turn right or I can turn left. And see, I'm still rather inebriated, so of course I choose to go straight forward and I go off the path entirely. I'm walking down the path, and that's when I hear the sound of music coming in the distance. And of course I have an ear for music, being a minstrel myself. So as I'm walking through and I hear this music, I follow the music. I follow my ear straight forward, and a little bit off to the right, and I stumble upon this mansion, this cabin, well put together cabin. Mike, how old are you? I am, I can't quite remember, but thank you for asking. Funny about that, I should probably be able to remember by now, but it's been so many years ago, I've forgotten. Especially in the state that I was in. I wouldn't have any idea. So I stumble upon this well-to-do cabin. I'm just going to call it the cabin from now on. Or the house. So I stumble upon the house of this rich man, and I think to myself, well, if there's a daughter inside, there are two possible ways of getting this lady to come out and talk to me. And one of them is knocking on the door and simply talking to her, saying hello and saying, hey, I need you to come with me because your father said so. But I knew something particular, and that is, Daniel says, yo bro, straight out of the medieval era. Thank you. I don't know what year it is because time has not quite been tracked as well as I hope it would be, and I can't read anyways, but that's beside the point. Angelica says, Italy, it is 7:21. What time is it, Mike? Right now it is, I think, 10:21 p.m. Angelica says, I have to go now, bye. Farewell, Angelica. Best of luck on your travels. Thank you for joining us while you were here. So, of course, I cannot knock on the door and get this daughter for the stranger that knocked on my shoulder. Because if I knock on the door and I tell her father's looking for her, then she will just simply ignore me, shut the door, and I will be no better. But the simplest way to steal away a lady from her house is, not steal, that's a poor phrasing, to win the heart of a lady so that she comes willingly from her house, is to play her a song, of course, or at least so I thought, because as a musician, the only solution that I have is songs. You know, I've heard the phrase, I'm sure, that if you are a hammer, every problem is a nail. Well, of course, I'm a minstrel, so every problem requires a song. So I think to myself, I will go around back, I will knock on her window, I will toss a pebble up there, and when she opens the window, I will tell her a song. Ephraim says, Mark the Minstrel, what is your favorite color? My favorite color is green, thank you for asking. Close second is maroon. Someone says, Resonance 11 says, hi, I'm from Russia. Hello, Resonance 11, welcome to the stream. We are trying to retrieve the daughter of a stranger who has commissioned us, because she has ran off with a rich person, and, well, we were not to trust rich people with our daughters, of course. Very dangerous to do that. So I go around the back of the house, and I see the faint candlelight by a window. She's probably reading in her chamber as before she goes to bed. Some book. Of course, she must be an intelligent lady. I cannot read, but that's beside the point. So I go around back and I find something. I'm able to find a pine cone, and I toss it, and it bounces off the window, makes a little clink sound, and I hear some ruffling coming from inside. Oh, what is this? Ephraim says, hello, hello. So I hear the little clunk and some ruffling from inside, and I'm ready to play this lady a song. So let's see if I can get some song lyrics and remember what I said way so long ago. Oh, lady love, in tower so tall, will you come with me, leave behind it all? And opens the window, and I see a lady pop her head out, except it is far too old for it to be the daughter of this stranger that has commissioned me to go find his daughter. It is the housemaid, and she is overjoyed that a minstrel would come and romance her from the window, and I am less overjoyed because my mission is turning out to be a lot more complicated than I thought, but it's no backing out now, so I say, oh, lady fair, will you come out here and run away with me, my dear? And she says, oh yes, I will come at once. And I say, before you go, I am here to save all the fair maidens from this house. Will you bring down all the other ones with you that are in there? And she says, of course, we shall all run away together. I think she was probably a bit confused, because usually you should not run away with a stranger in the middle of the night, but I guess I had such a charming air, or she was just desperate. More likely the second option. I cannot read Russian, but I appreciate your comment, Ephraim. I think it's Russian. Forgive me if it's not. So, lo and behold, I go to the front of the house, and there's a handful of women that all come outside, and I think to myself, well, one of these has got to be the daughter. Of course, I never got a description before I left, but I figure one of them has to be, so I start marching back into town with this parade of women behind me, singing my merry song. I think maybe they think I'm going to buy them a drink or something. I don't have the money for that, so I'm not going to buy them a drink, but they follow me. They go into town with me, and when I've gotten there, it's quite the commotion, and the stranger is waiting there by the square. He's sitting by the fountain. And he's asking me, well, did you bring my daughter? And I said, yes, I brought your daughter. I believe it is one of these fair maidens. And I show the caravan of maidens that has followed me. And he starts looking over one on one. He's like, no, it's not you, it's not you, it's not you. And he looks at every single one of them, and not a single one is the maiden that I set out to get. So I say, well, tell me, what does this maiden even look like so that I can find her next time? It's like, well, she has hair as orange as autumn leaves, and eyes as blue as the summer sky. And I was like, well, so this is daughter, not your romantic interest? And he says, yes, my daughter, of course. So, must be very proud of your daughter. Hello, Ephraim says, sorry, my voice was going to Russian. It's okay. No worries, no worries. Just depends on how much you want me to understand, that's all. So I go off, and I try and find the maiden with long red hair and blue eyes, probably of Irish descent or something. So I go back into the woods, and when I get back to the house, there's a bit of a commotion outside, and they say, hey, what is going on here? All of our maidens have left. All, of course, the servants and their wives are all like, all the servants' wives were gone, and all the maids were gone, and all the servant girls were gone, and it was just one lady that was left there. And she was a woman with red hair and blue eyes, and I knew that was the one. So I waltz up, and they all look at me and say, Minstrel, what brings you here? And I say, oh, I was just going for a midnight stroll in the middle of the night to look for mushrooms. That's believable. Okay. And they ask, why were you finding mushrooms? Why this far late at night? And why exactly here? They're starting to get suspicious of me, you see. So I I ask them, well, um, the mushrooms that grow around here, they're great. In the middle of the night, you know, there's no competition, there's no other gatherers. It's the perfect time to find mushrooms in the middle of the night, and they're a bit suspicious of me. Dawson Campbell says, hey. I say, hey. Ephraim says, hey. We're all saying, hey. Hey, hey, what a good day. To bed, my head shall lay. Welcome one, welcome all. We are improvising stories. I've been sent by a stranger to find his daughter, and ended up having very little luck. What is this? Daniel Seta says, hello from Finland. Hello, Daniel, and welcome to the stream. We're improvising stories. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the chat, and I will include them in the story. Leave a super chat for it to be guaranteed. Alright. So they are very suspicious of me, but I show them that here, I will find a mushroom for you right now. And of course, I have no idea what these mushrooms are supposed to look like. I'm just trying to get myself out of this, but apparently my high charisma has won them over. So I'm searching around. I'm like, where could these mushrooms be? And then I spot one down below. My heart, it grows with excitement, my eyes wide as I pick up this mushroom. And I say, hello, gentlemen. Check out this mushroom of mine. See, this is exactly what I was looking for. And they say, very believable. I'm glad you were able to find this mushroom. Eat it. And I'm like, what? Why would I eat it? Well, you said you were looking for mushrooms, weren't you? Well, you've got to eat this mushroom. And I said, yes, of course, I'll eat it. So then I look at this mushroom, and it's a nice white mushroom, and you think, well, maybe it's not poisonous, maybe it is poisonous, but they're really pressuring me to eat this, and of course, they're like, why are you hesitating? I thought you said you knew these mushrooms. I'm like, yes, gentlemen, I wanted to make sure there's no bugs on it. I pretend to wipe it off, thinking, how am I going to get out of this one? So what I do is I shift my cloak forward a little bit, I crush the mushroom in my hand, and instead of actually... Don't bump it. Alright, instead of actually eating the mushroom, I crush it and I drop it in as I pretend to eat it. And it falls down and it hangs in this little pouch held by my belt. I am saved for the day. And they say, oh, you do know the mushrooms you've eaten. Okay, you must be plenty safe. Thank you for giving us your tale. I'm sorry we ever questioned you. What is this? Danelle Seta says, the mushroom is poisonous. Yes, the mushroom was poisonous. That's why I didn't dare eat it. Thank you for pointing that out. So then I go off and I go into the house. I say, well, let me help you find your maidens fair. Are they here or are they there? I don't know. They could be anywhere. But to steal them away, I wouldn't dare. So, of course, they trust my beautiful rhyme, so they let me inside the house to look for the maidens, and that's when I get the chance to talk to the fair maid that I was supposed to get, the daughter of the stranger that I'm supposed to fetch. Finally, we're left alone for 2 seconds, and she comes up, she whispers, you, sir, you wouldn't actually know where the maidens went, would you? And I'd be like, well, why would you think I know? I was like, well, because you're the only one in anywhere near here that seems to be out of place, see? So, apparently she wasn't Irish, she was British. Danil Seta says, what if it is poisonous by smell and it is very close to your face? I will use that. Tell you what, how about it's mildly hallucinogenic? And then the sniff is starting to take effect right now, so that is why I'm talking to this fair maid. And I'm dizzy on my feet a little bit. Her hair is turning all shades of colors from red to blue, and I'm like, well, it shouldn't be blue. I thought there was only one maid, and I saw her before, so it had to be this maiden. So I say, well, if you would like to see, of course you can go on an adventure with me, and I can show you all that I know. And she's curious, but enthralled by the idea of the adventure of running off with a stranger in the middle of the night, which is a very realistic scenario, especially for fair maiden. If you don't understand my sarcasm, I'm sorry. That is a joke. One that shall get me ruined. Anyways, so I went into town. And this time I was playing a merry tune. Let's find a better tune. And as we waltz our way into town, there's the father, and he's sitting there, and he's sitting, and takes his cloak off, and he's like, hello there. Um, what should the fair maiden's name be? Leave a comment, and I'll name the fair maiden that. Oh, hello there, my dear, my darling. And she says, you again. I thought I told you I would never see you again. And he says, yes, but my love for you is so strong. And I'm like, wait, what? I thought you said she was your daughter. And like, no, I lied. She is my ex-lover, and I need to win her back. The scoundrel lied to me. Eleanor. Dragon Rider says Eleanor. All right, the maiden's name is Eleanor. And the stranger who lied to me, said he was her father, actually says he's the lover. And so then they get into a yelling match. Well, I can't believe you'd ever leave me like that. Well, I wanted to go with someone with money. And she's like, well, I need you back. You're my one. You're my only. And I say, why don't you give the person a chance? And she says, well, I did give him a chance. And look where it got me. I'm poor. What is this? Ephraim says, GG. Nell says, liar, liar, house on fire. Indeed, he is. Kareen says, hello, Mark. Hello. Welcome to the stream. We are improvising stories. Let me know what you want. So they get into an argument, and that's when I take my leave. I decide this is not the time for me to continue this conversation. I'm going to let them duke it out, and I'm going to pretend. And they say, oh, no, you don't. You brought her here. I'm like, well, you asked me to bring her here. I'm like, yes, but this is your fault. I'm like, how is it my fault? So they start chasing me, and I'm running away at this point, and I'm like, please don't take me down. So I'm running around the corners. I'm running around the streets. My heart is racing at this point. I'm breathing heavy. But finally, I find a place. I put my hat onto a spot, and they run around the corner looking for that hat, but I actually go the other direction. And they say, hey, his hat is here, but he is not. We must have lost him. And that's how I made my escape. So I don't know what actually happened to those poor lovers. But, you know, I wish them well. I hope she goes back to the rich man. He seemed like he treated her a lot better than whoever this stranger guy was. Anyways, let's see. Ephraim says, oh no, my voice is getting back to Russian. Oh, sorry, Ephraim. I mean, good for you, Ephraim. I mean, I suppose, good for you. Kareen says, you is cool. Thank you, Kareen. You are also very cool. A Dragon Rider says, how'd the hat come back? Enchanted? Oh, fun story. So, this is the next story, how about we say, is my retrieval of my hat. So after I left my hat on the post somewhere here, I will enact it by not wearing the hat until I find it again. Now you get to see my terrible, terrible hat hair, but that's beside the point. So, it's, early next day. Enchanted? Unfortunately, no, my hat is not enchanted. It's, a rather lame hat, actually. Well, no, not a lame hat. It is a mediocre, unmagical, that's the word, an unmagical hat. So I'm not able to go and actually find it, or it doesn't teleport to me or anything. So it was early the next morning. I had already woken up from my buzz. The ale that I was drinking the night before, this is tea, so don't get me fired. I mean, demonetized, but an iced ginger tea. But at the time I was, had a terrible headache the next morning. What's that? Dragon Rider's smiling at me as you mock me with your smile, or you enchant me with your charm. Which is it? I haven't the faintest. Ephraim says, yeah, my voice is back. I'm glad you have your voice back. May it serve you into less trouble than mine does for me. Anyway, so I'm looking for my hat, and I have a terrible headache from my wild night the night before. And I wake up the next morning, and I realize that the sun has risen. The sun has risen, and usually I'm able to sleep in quite late because my hat covers my eyes, but in this situation, I was not able to. So I've dropped my amulet. Forgive me for not wearing my amulet. Alright. So I had, woken up with a headache, the sun rose early, and that's when I realized I was missing my hat. Now, you see, I care very deeply about this hat. I didn't quite make it myself, but I did properly steal it with my own two hands. I used the 5-finger discount, where if you use all 5 fingers, you get it for free. That's great. Do you is escocés? I am not sure what that is, so I'm going to reply no. Ephraim says, "Oh yeah, now it's Italian now. I suppose I can be Italian. Not really. I can't be Italian. I'm sorry, but if I'm not going to try and do an Italian accent, because if I would, then any person that actually is blessed to have such a beautiful accent would immediately leave the stream. Anyway, so I'm looking for my hat, and it's got to be somewhere. So I go around looking for where it might be the night before. And it's a bright sunny day. It's a nice day in spring. I think the hat would be somewhere in where I left it last night, so I go down back to the square. And I'm searching around, and I've got to be careful because I'm somewhat worried that the people from the night before, the angry lovers, might be out for bad blood with me. So I'm sneaking around. Of course, I've got a hood that I'm able to wear to hide my identity slightly, because of course this is way less noticeable than this. There's a very interesting difference there, where if you're wearing a hood, the fact that you're wearing a bright red cape and carrying an instrument, nobody seems to notice. It's really fascinating. Thank you for the hearts, whoever is sending me the hearts. I appreciate it. I am but a small YouTuber, so any amount of tapping is exciting. Double tap the screen and it'll like, and it'll mean the world for me. What is this, FM? I do not speak that language either. Nor do I speak that language. I'm sorry. I'm an American. I speak maybe half of my own language, but I wish you well. Anyway, so I'm sneaking around. Let's see. Can I play a sneaky song? I cannot, in fact, play a sneaky song as much as I thought it was. No, I can't play any sneaky songs. That's alright. Anyway, so I'm sneaking around, and I think I find my hat, and then I do see it. I do see the feather. The feather pop up, and it's behind a box for a second, so I'm like, oh, there's my hat. So I walk up to box, look over, and my face sinks, because, of course, it's not my hat. It is a chicken whose tail feather was in the air, and I mistook it for this feather here on my beloved hat. So I'm angry. I say, you chicken, you fooled me. And the chicken looks up at me and says, I fooled you. You're the one that thought I was your hat. And that's when I got a little bit curious. Why is this chicken talking to me? Who is this? Argonauta says, the minstrel tells tales of the heroes mostly. Why would they learn the Song of Shadows? That is true. I do not learn the Song of Shadows. At least, don't tell the public that I do. Let's see. Apex Chris Henson says, I'm overly impressed by the amount of effort put in to result in something this subpar and corny. Thank you. I do put in a lot of effort. Irene says, your luck is amazing, Mark. So the chicken wasn't it, so I look around again. I see another feather. I see it off in the distance, and I see it walking away. I'm like, what's that? It's behind a fence of sorts. You can just see the feather sticking up. So I chase after it. And I look... when I run around the corner, it is not someone wearing my hat. It is someone wearing an entirely different hat. So I'm disappointed. I'm like, what? How am I going to wear this hat? So, but that day, there's something special about this day in particular, is that it was the day of the village fair. And there was a special competition being held. Where the person who could shoot an arrow the best would win the prize. And lo and behold, the hat that I had longed for so dear was the prize that they were offering. And I... See, there's a very big problem with this, is because I can't shoot a bow to save my life, so I... Thank you for the hearts. I walk up and I say, hello, that is my hat. I need you to give it to me. And it's just sitting there beautifully. I see the feather, I see the same shape, and it has this pin on it. So I know for certain that it is my hat. Why they're offering it as a prize is beyond me, but they're offering it as a prize. So what I need is to develop my archery skills and fast. So I show up and I grab the bow and I stand in line, and there's another person. He aims, he shoots, and the crowd cheers as he got the second ring from the center, which is pretty good. Try not to fight, guys. It's all right. Don't worry about me. So the archer, he takes his shot. He gets second from the middle. Not quite the middle ring, just one out from that, second from the middle. I think that's the way to phrase it. Anyways. And then the second guy comes up and he takes his shot. And it's third from the middle. So people are like, yeah, clap, 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 well done, well done, well done. And then there's a fair maiden in front of me. And she's the one right before I go up next. And lo and behold, it is the maiden from the night before. At least I think so. She has orange hair, and I don't think much of it at the time. It's just red hair. What's going on here? So I hope she doesn't win my hat for me. She looks at the hat and is like, wait a second, I recognize that hat. That's the one that I saw last night. And I pull my hood over and try to look the other way, and she's like, wow, isn't that funny? She looks behind, and she looks right at me, and she notices right away. Trent says the greatest hat as the grand prize is only fitting. Thank you. Dragon says, just standing up for a talented person. Thank you. I appreciate you standing up for me. Danelle says, the wind would make the trajectory weird. Yes, it would, in fact, make the trajectory quite weird. So I show up to the bow, and the fair maiden is in front of me, and she says, well, haha, if that's the prize on the line, and I'll make sure you don't get it if anyone does. So then I'm scratching, I'm fidgeting, I'm like, well, what's going to happen? I'm scared, I'm jumping around. Well, I don't know how to shoot a bow. I just kind of got here and I just want my hat back. So what am I going to do? And so she gets her bow and she aims it. She thinks about it for a second. And the rush of wind as the arrow flies forward toward the target. The whistle, the hint of a whoosh as it goes by. And slams right into the very center. Right into the very center of this target. And I'm like, how am I going to beat this? I don't know if you've seen that one tale of, I forget who it was, but there's another red-haired lady that is really good with the bow. I think she might have watched or heard tales of that herself, but anyways, the wind would make the trajectory weird. I'm going to use that. All right. And so now it is my turn. And I'm like stepping up. I've got one shot. To nail this bow. Let's see. Do I have a bow? I do not have a bow around me, so I'm going to keep pretending. So I show up, and everyone's looking at me. Everyone's trying to wait for me to one-up this shot. And I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? And I think of all the things that I know. I think of all the spells that I've heard in the past. Any ways of getting my hat back. And I think to myself, maybe I can cast a wind spell, and it will help me. And maybe if I whistle a little tune, I suppose, like... So I whistle my little tune and I say, wind... O wind above from the sky so bright, lend me this day your might, as this arrow I let fly, give me this hat, or all is nigh. So I let my arrow fly, and it goes whistle. It entirely misses the target, entirely goes over. But the wind from this blast, this spell that I cast, pushes over the target entirely. So people don't pay attention to the arrow that I shot, that it entirely missed. They just see that this target just go flying off into the distance, and they think, wow, this person must be the best shot ever. Such a strong arm that he can blast this target clean off of its place. And I don't know about it, but I think they're rather stupid. But that's beside the point. They give me my hat back, and I am able to live another day with my beautiful hat. So that's how I got my hat back. Karine says, you is much cool, Mark. Thank you. Double tap the screen to give it a like, and I will much appreciate it. And Elle says, what if it hits a bird? The Fools, Dragon Rider says. Indeed, the Fools. If the arrow were to hit a bird, I'm sure I would eat very well that night. I just hope it's not an important bird. Alright, so now I need your guys' help. We're on to the next story now. I need a character, and I need a goal of theirs. And it can be a goblin, it can be a sheep, it can be a dog, it can be a minstrel, it can be A knight. It can be a king for all I care. It can be anything. Give me your suggestions in the comments. Until then, I will play some tunes. Let's hear your suggestions. A new fan. That's great. Alright, what are your suggestions? What character shall we improvise about next? Alright, let's see. Goldberry Girl says, character, a transformer who crashed onto Earth in the Middle Ages. People are confused and think he is a giant made of armor. Ooh, that is clever. That is very clever. Let's see. How you became a minstrel and what your original goal was. Oh, these are very different. Find a sheep seeking treasure, says Trent. And then it says, a surgeon from the modern days that time traveled to the medieval period that shares his knowledge with everyone. Okay, thank you, Danil. Neil says, a knight ran away after he stole a necklace from the queen. Well, gosh, those are a lot of good suggestions. You all flatter me, thank you. These are great. Let's see, what should I go with? So I go with, let me scroll back up to see for sure. Let's see. We have the Transformer, How I Became a Minstrel, Sheep Seeking Treasure, Surgeon from the Modern Age, and the Knight that ran away after he stole the necklace from the Queen. Well, what's the most on theme? I love the idea of Transformers, but I don't know much about the Transformers series myself, so I fear I would not do it very much justice. The Sheep Seeking Treasure, I might be able to add that into another one. And then I also want to know about that amulet. Oh, this amulet? This is quite an excellent amulet. Let me take it off and I'll show you. So this is something I actually got from a king himself. If you've heard of King Emilio, the Armored One, this is a tribute to him. I got this quite a while ago. By quite a while, I mean maybe a month. And I've had it. Typically, I wear it on my belt next to all my janglies, but that's quite good. I think I'm not going to go with the time travel one just because I'm trying to keep it purely fantasy and medieval, although I do like your suggestions. They are very entertaining. I'm just not sure if I would do a very good job at them. So let's try a knight and a sheep become... okay, a knight is running away from an amulet, and the queen has sent her sheep to go after him. What deed... Dragon Killer says, what deed did you accomplish to earn such a feat? That would be a good one. Yes, to get this amulet from King, it was quite epic. So, this amulet myself, I will tell you how I came to get this amulet, which was stolen by a knight and sent to be retrieved by a sheep. Goodness gracious, that's one heck of a story prompt, but let's get to it. Alright, to start us off, it was winter time. The snow falling from the top. What was this? The plaque arrives, says Danelle. Goldberry says, oh, this will be fun, and everyone's smiling. Alright, welcome. If you're new to the stream, we are improvising stories, and we are going to get going on the time that I got this amulet from, or I somehow, this amulet was stolen from the queen and sent to be retrieved by a sheep. Alright, so it starts off in a nice winter day. Let's see, what's a nice winter key? It's a nice winter day. Snow falling on the treetops, as none but the evergreens are still green this time of year. It was white. The entire land overwhelmed with snow. It was a winter like none had ever seen before. And this was the day where the great tragedy happened. And that was the queen. Outraged, she cried as In anger, she commanded, "All who listen, you must find my sacred treasure, for on this day an amulet has been stolen. Go thy way, and fetch me this, and I shall make you..." Let's see. "I shall make you the knight that guards my royal... guards by my right-hand side for achieving this great feat." And as the people heard this, they went and they gathered their supplies, and there was so many people that went on this quest to find this amulet, and it was stolen. It was stolen by the previous knight that had guarded the queen, the right-hand man. What a betrayal this was. How bitter she must have felt by this. Not just the loss of such a beautiful amulet with the inscription of her very own king, but the betrayal of the greatest knight in all the land. A good tale deserves some good food. Oh. This is tea, but it could be something else if I wasn't on YouTube. Right hand of the queen, that's essentially a third ruler. Yes, so it's the right hand guard of the queen. He didn't really have any authoritative power, but he did have a lot of responsibility protecting the queen. Dragon says same key, higher octave would be Sparkly Winter. Actually, that's a good idea. Give me 2 seconds to step away, and I'll grab something that will make that a lot easier on my fingers. Alright, I think this will work. This is a modern implementation that I have stolen and I found it during my travels. I think it's called a kapoo? Or kippah? Alright. Excellent. This will be our key now. Thank you. Thank you, Dragon Rider. Tell me, what is it like to ride dragons? I've never done it myself. Alright. So they set off on their quest to find this sacred amulet by the queen. Dragon Ruler says the right of the queen has not only responsibility, but a close ear to events. Extremely windy. Thank you, Dragon Rider. So, but you see, the weirdest of the adventurers that set off to find this queen's amulet was that of not man, but beast. See this? It was a sheep by the name of Sean. Sean the sheep. Any similarities to other characters is purely coincidental. Anyway, so our dear sheep, he went off, and he wanted to be a knight. He wanted to be better than anyone else. See, he had been a sheep all of his life, but he was the least sheep-like of the sheep, so he set off on his quest, and he had a distinct advantage, you see. So as it was winter, that he would blend in. He would be able to sneak up on the royal right-hand knight. He was an animal, so he could stay warm in the winter when others might be able to have to turn back. But this sheep, he would find the amulet. He would find the knight, and he would be able to take them down. Let's see. What country is this story in? Daniel, I have not gotten that far. I'm going to keep it as a made-up country because that would make me not have to be historically accurate. Karen says, thank you, song. I'm glad you enjoyed. Dragon Rider says it doesn't matter. I agree. Danelle says, copyright laws didn't exist in the 1500s. That's a good point. Shaun the Sheep is a... there's no copyright infringement because this character, who happens to also be named Shaun, is nothing related to any other figures from... later. Okay. Oh, you mischievous little definitely not copyrighted infringer. Yes. I would never infringe copyright, make cover songs, and not ask permission. Why would I ever do that? It's ridiculous. Preposterous. So the sheep set out. And He knew a few things. He knew the land better than anyone. Growing up in this land, he could find this night. He could find the night quicker than anyone else. He could travel the land quicker than anyone else and could hide quicker than anyone else. So he got wind. See, this sheep was a good friend with the chickens, who were good friends with the cows, who were, of course, good friends with everyone. And the cows told the chickens, which told the sheep, that the knight had been spotted toward the east, hiding away in the hills. So there the sheep went, into the hillside. And I don't know if you're familiar with the billy goats, or the goats of the mountain. But the goats of the mountain are very good at traversing places like that, so he had help. He had help from those people. Let's see, what was this? No new comments, we're good, alright. Oh, we do have new comments. William Tell, respect the mark, okay. What is this? You're not arguing, are you? Miscommunication says William Tell. I do not know who that is, but that's a good idea. Kyrene says respect the mark, okay. Thank you, Kyrene. Dragon Rider says everyone likes the cows. That should be kept throughout the stories. Yes, I will make sure that the cows are always liked. Let's see. Malcolm Mania. Malcolm. I'm just gonna call you Malcolm if that's alright. Oh, what was the disrespect? By the clothes I thought was the character. Oh, I see. I look like another character. Well, I hope you enjoy my garb. It is quite exciting. I wear it a little more often than I'd like to admit. I wash it, don't worry. Great side character to come back to. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dragon Rider. So into the mountains he goes, and he talks to the Billy Goats, and he says, Billy Goats, I have always been good to you. I've always been your friend, and I've always helped you whenever you went down to my pasture. So now, I need your help, Billy Goat. And the Billy Goat says, for you, Sean, that happens to be a sheep, unrelated to any other character. Yes, I will help you. Will you, I will help you. I will get you to where you need to go. I have spotted this evil knight, and he has gone up into the mountains. See, and so the sheep went off. And the sheep went off into the mountains, and he spotted a cave. A cave with a little fire. It was a flickering torch. And lo and behold, he saw the knight huddling below the... How am I doing this? Alright, that's cool. Yeah, so we saw the knight. I'm having way too much fun with this. Alright. So we saw the knight huddling by his campfire. And this knight was playing an excellent little tune on his ditty. He had an instrument. An instrument oddly similar to this one, actually. I'm not doing that anymore. Alright. Who says what? Hello, honey. Hello, welcome. Danelle says, side character idea, random trader that appears in almost every town trading important items for gold coins, currency of this fictional country. Indeed, coins are great. Oddly similar, huh? Yes, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about the instrument. It's oddly similar to this one with this amulet that I happen to have. Because this knight, he was a terrible person. He betrayed the queen, of course. So look, the sheep confronted him. The sheep said, You stole that amulet from the queen, and I shall retrieve it, and I shall bring it back to her, and I shall be victorious. And the knight said, that you will never retrieve this from me. I stole it fair and square. I was gifted it by the king, fair and square. And so, we get into a battle of words. He says, alright, if you can rhyme better than me, because I'm smarter than you, but if you can rhyme better than me, said the sheep, then I will let you keep the amulet. But if I can outrhyme you, knight, then I will take the amulet. So So then the sheep says, "I will start. Give me a word, and I shall rhyme with it." So I need someone to comment me words. I will rhyme with whatever word you send, within reason. Foolish little sheep, says Goldberry Girl. Yes, indeed. He thinks he can outrhyme the minstrel. Give me some words. I will rhyme with any of them. I will wait for the words. Let's start with something simple. Fire. So I got the word fire, and I say, "You see me sitting around the fire? You think I stole this, but you are a liar." It's great. Slag? Goldberry Girl says slag. Horn. Glorian Steel, welcome to the stream. I did not think I'd see you here, but it is so good to have you. I hope the king is doing well. Alright, slag. And the sheep said, "I will burn you down into slag, and over the cliff you I shall drag." This threat, I was not very happy with it. Let's see, corn. I said, "I will eat you like a piece of corn, and all your victory shall be forlorn." And he goes back. Let's see, Dragon Rider says, "Rock." And the sheep says, "You lay your head upon a rock. My wool goes to make you a sock." And though this was a very weak rhyme, I knew at that I was losing, or he was winning. Let's see, Dragon Rider says, "Use the surrounding visuals for easier recall." That's a good idea. Glorian Steel says, didn't know you streamed." Yes, I do stream. I got into it because of our favorite king. Well, your favorite king. I have a monarch that I serve, but that king is really our favorite. I guess he is a king, so our favorite king. He got me into it. I saw his success and I enjoyed it. All right, let's see. Other rhymes. Any rhymes? Just give me a rhyme. Flag. All right. Goldberry says, "That was good. Flag." All right. The sheep. So then I looked at him and I said, "I stand tall like a mighty stag. I'll take your wool and make you a flag." That flops over easily. And see, we're both getting very bad at rhyming at this point. Let's see. Glorian Steel says rag. Do I have to rhyme with rag? Okay. So the sheep said, "I see you're sweating. Do you need a rag? Come on, cheer up. You're such a drag." And this insulted me to the very core. Dragon Rider says, "Flee." Haha, "I am a better rhymer than thee. You better leave behind all your treasure and flee." So then, Nell says, "Blood." Blood says, let's see, blood. How do I rhyme with blood? Blood. "You think yourself such a mighty stud? I will tear you down and..." No, I think that phrase would probably get me demonetized, so... Let's see. I'm gonna come up with a different one for blood in a second. Arthur Morgan says orange. You want me to rhyme with orange? Orange? Why do you want me to rhyme with orange? There's no rhymes with orange. Wait. Drink your blood? Okay, fine. I'll tear you down and drink your blood. Oh, there, I said it. I am not... I'm not going to ignore Arthur. Because... because if I had... I'm really hungry, okay? And I was really hungry. The knight was really hungry and the sheep was really hungry. So they agreed that it would be good to have some orange in us. See, my ideas are getting more ingenious. That was the best I got. All right. No other blade. Gloria Steel says blade. Blade. And I said, "I shall tear you down with my mighty blade, and you'll wish you ran and hadn't stayed." All right. What even rhymes with orange? I don't know. I will plant some orange seeds wearing cotton pants, orange jeans. I don't know. Road rhymes back. He's going to get back in stride. That's a good one. Back. So then I say, intelligence you surely lack. This amulet you shall never get back. This battle is epic. Thank you guys for this. This is great. Oh no, he's getting back in stride. Lie. Alright. I tell you, knight, your end is nigh. You say you got that fair and square? You lie! And at that I realized that I had lost the rhyme war. And sadly, he had gotten more rhymes than I had. I mean, sorry, the knight had. Oh, gosh. So the knight took off the amulet, and he gave it to Sean, who happened to be a sheep, a very intelligent sheep, mind you. And I gave the amulet to this sheep, and he brings it back. And now I do not have the amulet anymore. So that was the end of the rhyme war. All right. Gloria still says, bed, fight, gasp. I will rhyme with those, and that'll be the end. You fight me, you'll end up dead, and I will sleep in the warmest bed. And then fight. If it is me you choose to fight, you will not last till evening's light. All right, there. No, I thought the knight would win. See, you thought. Well, just you wait. I do have the amulet. I mean, the knight does have the amulet. Eventually, I mean, I have the amulet now. So the knight must get it back at some point. Stay tuned for that. So it's... Anyways, so it's sometime later. The sheep has traveled back to the queen. And he has shown her the great amulet. And says... Meh. I'm sorry. He says, "Oh, queen, I have retrieved thy amulet, and I shall gift it to you." And she says, "Oh, thank you for the royal amulet. Unfortunately, I am wearing an amulet already." It was a very fancy amulet, had a really big diamond on it, because I had replaced that amulet. But if you go put it in my chambers, I'll be sure to go thank you straightway. So she takes that. So the sheep, Mr. Sean, that happens to be a sheep, takes the amulet and is walking to the chamber. But you see, the knight used a masterful disguise. See, the knight wore a hood upon his head, and with a hood you cannot be seen. And he did not carry an instrument that looked similar to a guitar, but definitely not a guitar. It's an octave mandolin. Everyone gets that mixed up. Anyways, he carried a flute, and it was a poor peasant boy that was like, I'm going to clean up for the queen. I am just a servant. Do not worry about me. I am a good person. I am the queen's servant," he said to the sheep. And he said, "Oh, sheep, I'm glad you are here. The queen sent me, and I'm here to bring you to her chamber." And he says, "Oh, thank you. I will go straightway there." So he leads him in, and he goes around a corner door, up a spiral staircase somewhere high in the castle, and says, "Here's the chamber. Enter at will." And he goes in, and it's this royal, this regal chamber, and it's great. There's drapes dipping from the ground. There's drape from the bed. There's gold trim everywhere. It's the best bedchamber ever. So I say, "I will leave it here. Just set it over on the mantle, and she will get it, and you can come straight back out again. But of course, I have to make sure you don't steal anything, so if you don't mind, I'm going to watch as you do it." So of course, he says, "Yes, of course, I would never steal. I am the sheep. I am the great knight." So he goes and he sets this amulet, this exact amulet on the nightstand of the queen. Just wait. The amulet was fake. She should knight you. He stole it back. Wait, I need to catch up on the chat. Thought the knight would win. Goldberg Girl says, "Oh." Kyrene says, "What one story of adventurer." Yes, Nice says the amulet was fake. Danelle says, "She should knight you." Thank you. Just you wait. Nell said he stole it back. Just you wait. That was my idea. Dragon Rider says, "Wild that he happened to have a flute for that." Yes, so he was playing a pretty little flute, and of course you must trust any piper who plays a flute. So he played something like that, and the sheep was soothed, and he said, "Ah, yes, I am in a trustworthy situation." So he drops the amulet and he walks right out, shuts the door behind, and I say, "Thank you, the queen will be very pleased." And so the sheep goes off to the queen and says, "I have placed the amulet on your chamber, just as you had." Meanwhile, a certain character, the knight, that was actually not really a knight, he was a minstrel, but this stole this amulet. It was set on the bedchamber, except the knight had not led the king to, sorry, the sheep. The knight had not led the sheep to the correct bedchamber. No, it was not the queen's bedchamber where it was supposed to place the amulet. Instead, it was the king's chamber, which is why it looked so royal. But see, this knight was still in good connection with the king, and he had a very important key to the kingdom, right? Which he got with a very special letter from the king and the king's signet. Let me see if I can't find that. I think it's here somewhere. Yes, he hid it in a book somewhere. And it was a beautiful amulet. The beautiful... No, never mind, it's not there. It's somewhere. I'm sure it's somewhere. Give me a second. This is nowhere that I can find. Anyways, so he had a very nice key, the signed signet from the king, and that was how the knight was able to get into the king chamber. Unlocked the door, opened the door, scurried across the room, and with triumph grabbed the amulet, just as he should have, and this time he ran off. But he did not simply run into the woods. No, he did not. He did not simply run into the mountains. No, he ran far, far away to where no one would ever be able to find him again. That being this excellent tavern, and so far they have not found me yet. Yes, I was the knight the entire time. I know. Spoiler alert. I'm sure none of you saw that coming. Anyways, so the sheep was none the wiser. The sheep did get promoted, as the queen said, and the queen was the queen was a woman of her word, so she gave the excellent sheep her position. The position of right-hand knight, the bodyguard. But I still managed to get this amulet, and I have kept it very safe, very safe. You see, I keep it with me all the time, so it is quite an excellent time. Let's see. Any chats? Shocking gasp. Yes, I know. Thank you, Goldberry Girl. Gloria and Steel says gasp. Very shocking. Dragon Rider says that 100% has a tracking rune. I sure hope it doesn't have a tracking... Oh, wait. Shoot. You're smart. You're smart, you know that. There is a tracking rune on here. I'm gonna see if I can't get the local blacksmith to pound that out and make sure it doesn't come back to bite me later. Did I miss any chat? Not the letter to. Thank you, Arthur, for liking. Nell says, was that why the maid from earlier was charmed? I don't think she was very charmed by me, I'll entirely admit. Ephraim says, hello, I'm back. Hello, welcome. Thank you, Katie, for the claps. Dragon Rider says, a little bit of elbow grease and free sap, and it'll deactivate. Elbow grease and free sap. Wait, where do you find... Oh, tree sap. Tree sap is what you mean. You know, that's a good idea. I'm going to go try that real quick. So I got some tree sap, and I'm going to... Okay. Oh, wow, you weren't kidding. Tracking runes rub like that. Let's see, you'd imagine that's probably not as difficult as I thought it would be. Blacksmith can change the rune for you to something useful. That's true. I will get in contact with the latest blacksmith. See what I can do. It's great. So, well, let's see. It has been about an hour since I've started streaming, and I'm going to play you guys a tune. Not necessarily a story, but a song. A song instead. Let's see. Let's see, what song should I sing about? Should I improvise a song? Maybe using your lyrics from earlier? That, Lori says is the best for I Think I Can Get It. Or says, love you so much. Love you to miss you. Thank you. Dragon says, a treat for the ears, one hopes. Jason says, love and light. Thank you. Treat, yes, thank you, Dragon Rider. Let's play a tune for you guys before I head out for the night. Awesome. For an improvised song, that's not bad. All right. Lori says, love you so much, baby girl. Thank you. Hope I'm fabulous. Dragon says, can we get a song about a wanderer? As a matter of fact, I did make the Ballad of the Stranger. That's available on my channel if you want to go check that out. It should be presently in the first video at the very top if you want to see the Ballad of the Stranger. I can try and improvise something though. Turtle Shuffle says, did you roll a strumming check? I did roll a performance check, and it was a very success. Dragon Rider says, open on remote village, suddenly zooming into our character. Thank you. Goldberry Girl says, that was quite nice. Dragon Rider says, dope. Lori says, Riz. Thank you. I am the Rizzler. Actually, funny story about that. This is a true story. I was walking around on Halloween. I was trying to offer side quests to people. I'm saying, hey, if you can go find me a rock and bring it back to me. It was trick-or-treaters, right? I said, if you bring, and I'll give you a piece of candy. And that was really funny. Actually, interesting social experiment too, because like absolutely no one accepted my request. The guys that I interacted with straight up said, no way I'm doing that. The girls said, yeah, sure, I'll do it, and then never returned. So, take that with what you will, but it was an interesting how consistent it was. But yeah, I would give side quests to trick-or-treaters. It was great. Lori says, my grand boy is a wizard, and you. Thank you. Says, GGG, do you play Fortnite? I do not play Fortnite. I have, sorry. In character, I have no idea what Fortnite is. Out of character, I did a while ago. Not anymore. I don't have time for video games, but that's fun. Anyways. Let's see, what's a fun song? No. Out of nowhere. That's a good one. Thank you. Elle's Music said, wait. Oh, Lori says, what are you doing? I am playing music and improvising stories. Elusive Mind 22 says, I cast Wish for you to succeed in life. Thank you. Wish is a very powerful spell. I am most impressed. Lori says, my name is Jonah. Sing that lyric. My name is Jonah, and I own a lot of property in the hills. With my sheep and goats they creep and find the air and wind blowing in my windowsills. Alright. That's terrible. I hate improvising lyrics. Alright. Goldberry Girl says that was great. Thank you, Glory and Steel, for the thumbs up. Lori says, can you sing, but do you know who Just Want is? I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I can kind of sing. I like to think. Dragon Rider says, of Verona. Thank you for that. Not sure what Verona is, but I'll take your word for it. Lori says, can you use a wrist song? A wrist song? You want me to play a song with my wrist? Here, I'm playing it with my wrist. That's terrible. I don't know why I'm doing that. Alright. You know, just for this, you just don't know what is. I'm sorry, I just don't know what it is. That's my bad. I should have asked. I should have learned earlier. Okay, I can sing one of my other songs. That's what I won't be improvising. I was playing in a tavern one night. 'Twas an empty place, not a soul in sight. When a man walked in and grabbed a seat and ordered a drink both hot and sweet. On his back was a purple coat shirt has darker stroke. Though he smiled, 'twas a vain disguise, for sadness lay behind his eyes. Oh stranger, what is your name? Oh stranger, what is your story? If I had just one more chance, I would have shone my light. But far away we're sailing now, like ships passing in the night. Just for a moment we shared a glance, and I looked away and closed my stance. Clearly this man had need of a friend, even so I froze lest I offend. One tear fell as he left his seat. I had missed my chance this soul to meet. My heart raced as I knew right then I may never see him alive again. No stranger, what is your name? Oh stranger, what is your story? If I had just one more chance, I would have shone my light. But far away we're sailing now, like ships passing in the night. If I ran to catch up with him, as I feared his fate may turn out grim. Down the road and across a bridge which led right over a chasm's ridge. Black threads torn on the bridge's rail I discovered as my face turned pale. Where this stranger went I knew, as the purple cloak was there below. Oh stranger, what was your name? Oh stranger, what was your story? If I had just one more chance, I would have shone my light. But far away we're sailing now, like ships passing in the night. That's a fun song. Hit something. That's a fun song. That was actually my 2,500 subscriber special. It's on my channel now if you want to hear the full version. Got to give visuals with that one. It's pretty cool. Alright, so what is this? Under a bridge. That is true. Lori is a troll, probably. Goldberry Girl says, Lori, is there any chance you're a bot? Lori wants me to send her money. I'm not going to send you money. Lori asks what I'm doing for a living. I play music. I'm a minstrel, of course. Thanks. Oh, everyone said that. Okay. I'm not giving you my banking information, sorry. Jason says, there are different levels to life. Indeed. Some were up here, some fell down. It's unfortunate, tragically. Dragon Rider says, song is really good, recommended. Small lav mic to make sure your audio is balanced. Since you're projecting straight to a camera, yes, thank you. Usually I do. I don't play instruments and sing at the same time for that exact reason. Dawn take you all, and he stone to you. Thank you, Goldberry. Lori says, do you know what? Not a clue, sorry. Goldberry says, blasted, I'm no Gandalf. Danelle says, got to be careful, you might get accused of witchcraft in these times. Yes, I would not want to get accused of witchcraft. There was a time quite a while ago where someone did think I was a witch. Not exactly a witch, kind of a warlock, but like a warlock doesn't have as much of a negative connotation as a witch does, but it's an interesting time actually. So it was the middle of fall. Autumn leaves were falling down and the orange had coated the forest floor, and I thought it would be good fun to go and play in the leaves a little bit because there was no one else around, and usually I try and be an upstanding individual. I try and be an adult, but when there's no one else around, maybe playing in the leaves now and then. Anyways, I'm rambling away, but so I try and I go off into the woods with my flute. I'm like, and I'm running around in circles playing a little tune. So I think it would be great fun to be able to whisk up the leaves a little bit with a nice little wind spell. So let's see. Do I know any wind songs? I'm going to try not to peak my microphone, but I played something like that. Do you have a friend that does witchcraft? I do not. Typically, the witches are not my friends because they usually try and steal me away. Anyway, so I play a nice little wind spell, and I start to get the leaves going around in circles. Um, and that was all good fun until I think somebody noticed me in my hat playing wind spells, getting the leaves to fly around. And they were not so keen on magic. See, they had had probably bad run-in with magicians or wizards or witches even in their past. Um, and so they thought, oh, he's a terrible person. He uses magic. I'm going to tell the townspeople, and we're going to take him out, and we're going to tear him limb from limb. What's this? Yes, Dragon Rider says, what prudes? I agree. Danelle Seta says, spells? Yes. I do know a handful of spells. Not like a ton of spells. Usually I try and talk my way out of things, but little cantrips to cause mischief. They're quite nice. So they go, and they run away, and I don't actually know they saw me at all. But then, little do I know, a little bit later, the townsfolk, they all show up with pitchforks and torches in the middle of the day too. They brought torches, which is, in my opinion, the stupidest thing ever. But I was right, and you'll find out why in a second. So they brought torches, they brought their pitchforks, and they brought their armor and their swords, and they were gonna say, "You're a witch! We're gonna burn you!" And I'm like, I'm not a witch. One, I'm a dude. Two, what did I do? Did I enchant someone? Did I steal your fair maiden? Because I'm sure that wasn't witchcraft. That's just me. And they didn't fall for that joke. Let's see. Dragon Rider says, casting from the sky down to earth is incomparable. Yes, indeed, very incomparable. Excuse me. Ginger. The ginger tea is quite a punch to it, which is good. Good for most things, but maybe not live streams where I have to talk for an hour and a half straight. Anyways, that's beside the point. What I was saying is they wanted to burn me, and they have these torches, they have their pitchforks, and they surround me. I'm like, well, what am I to do? I can't exactly run. I can't exactly talk them out of it because they're already convinced. So I do the only thing that I know to do. Is that I say, all right, fine, you caught me. I am a witch. I will cast my spells. And I cast that spell. And the leaves, they start to ruckus around me, and they form like a cylinder surrounding me. And the villagers are like, whoa, what's he doing? He's casting magic on us. And they scurry back, and the leaves form into this giant column. And it just starts to rush around with me in the middle. And they're like, oh no, run away. And of course, any villager that gets caught in the leaves, it's just leaves and wind, so it's not going to hurt them. But they're running away, they're frantic, and they get swept up, knocked down, and they land in the soft leaves, and they're freaking out, trying to run away. And eventually I'm able to send the tornado one direction while I go the other direction. And by the time I'm out of there, they are none the wiser. So that was how I escaped being accused as a witch. Danelle says, I get all the maidens. I'm sure you do, Danelle. I have 50. That's a lot of maidens, Danelle. Thank you. Dragon Rider says, you know what they say. The minstrel entertains the maidens, not beds them. Yes, indeed. I am incredibly maidenless in canon. I've tried to win many a lady, and eventually I gave up because they like one of two things. They either enjoy my music or nothing else. And so, I've made my peace with it. Such is life. Such is life. That is alright. In canon, yes, the character Minstrel. In real life, I have a fiance, but that's beside the point. Let's see, what's another tune I can play? I totally lost that. This is why I like YouTube. I can take multiple takes. Thank you. Zell Timms. Zell Timms! My man! It is so good to see you. Okay, that's great. Now, Dragon Rider says, now that's a traveling song. Hello. Hello, Zell Timms. It's so welcome. Welcome to have you to the stream. It is so good to see you, my friend. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, me and Zell, we go way back. Check out his channel. He does funny videos. They get me laughing every time. Let's see, what's another song I know? That's a fun one. That one's called the Glasgow Reel. Hello, Alexa. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Good to see you all. See you all great. Do you have any requests? Any requests for stories? Any requests for songs? Just let me know. Leave a comment and I'll get to it. I read all the comments since I'm able to keep up with the chat, at least at this stage. So now's the chance to make your investment. Give me a chat so I can read it. It's great. And of course, anything like likes and shares and subscribes, those are all cool too. But like chats is what really gets me. Zell Tim says is not like us. I think you're quite incredible, Zell. Don't get me wrong. I may be incredibly cool and very good at music, at least according to some people. But I think what really makes us incredible is the friends we made along the way. Dragon Rider says, get yourself a common roster for songs you can pull out, and it will give you the ability to think on your improvisation. Improvisation. That's a good idea. Not a bad idea. Zeltim says, surely. Alexis says, funny. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy. Darda says, 6 should do for intermissions. Indeed. Alexa, thank you for the silly faces. I appreciate it all. Appreciate it all. Let's see. There's one I used to sing a while ago. It's The Queen of Argyle. Let's see if I remember that one. No, I don't, apparently. Gentlemen, it is my duty to inform you of one beauty, though I'd ask of you a favor, not to seek her for a while. Oh, she is a creature of character and feature. No words can paint the picture of the Queen of all Argyle. And if you could have seen her there, boys, if you had just been there, the swan was in her movements and the morning in her smile. Don't I haven't played that song in a long time. I'm sorry to cut the song out halfway through. It's a lame move on my part, but that's a fun one. I've learned that one for a while ago. It's the Queen of Argyle. It tells the tale of an excellent fair maiden who says, Dragon Rider says, oh no, it. Zeltim says, song about a babe. I don't know if I could write a song about you that quickly, but thanks. Sorry. Zeltim says, very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Zeltims. Let's see, what time is it? Streamed an hour and a half ago, so it's probably, gosh, time for me to sleep, that's for sure. Dragon Rider says, don't force yourself to that higher register. You're more stable in your lower. That is true. I am much more stable in my lower than my higher register, and my voice just needs a break anyways. Glorian says, perfect. Gotta go now. I will be back. Glorian Steel, I'm gonna end the stream here soon anyways, so I hope you have a good rest of your night. and I'll see you anyways. Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it up here. So thank you guys for showing up to the stream. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys here. If you want more music, check out my channel. I actually have the chance to take multiple takes and do less live improvisation, so a lot more quality stuff there that I'm not just pulling out of thin air. Ruby says, no, wait, what? What's wrong? Dragon Rider says, I will be back. You're awesome. Thank you, Dragon Rider. Ruby, sorry to go so soon. Nell says, aw, all right. I do appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys quite a lot. You guys mean the world to me. It's a lot of fun hanging out, saying hello to all 8 of you. Thank you for the likes. If you enjoyed the stream, feel free to double tap your screen right now, and it'll bring those likes up, and it'll make me more recognized, which is pretty convenient now and then. Nell says, well, see you later. Yes, see you later, Nell. Glorian Steel says, good night, good sir. Good night, Glorian Steel. Zeltem says, sweet dreams, Mark. Thank you. Good night. Thank you for the emojis. I appreciate it. Oh, we got up to 20 likes. That's my new record for the stream. That's great. All right, guys. I'll see you all in a few however many periods of time. But bye-bye.